So welcome back again to the Cricket Diaries podcast. Today we are joined by Annie from County Cricket Matters, which is a great little cricket magazine of obviously all things county cricket, and obviously for me a biased view is the best form of cricket. And Annie does a great job on the social media channels as well, really sort of like promoting why county cricket is so important and why it needs to survive and also thrive as well. So welcome along, Annie. And what was the meaning behind starting County Cricket Matters?
Thank you very much for asking me on, Ben. Nice to meet you. What was the reason behind it? Okay, so in 2019, I was on social media with a few people, and we were discussing the 100, and we were worried about the impact it would have on county cricket, understandably so. And we got together and we decided we'd bring out a t-shirt saying oppose the 100, and we kind of started that. And then just a couple of weeks later we thought, oh, let's do a publication. And we got a magazine out called County Cricket Matters in November 2019. That was the first one, and basically it included a lot of articles about why the 100 is probably a bad idea, and it was quite a negative about the 100 magazine. We brought that out in November, and then we decided, a couple of us decided that actually it was a bit negative, and what we really wanted to do, what we really wanted to do was champion county cricket and celebrate it and give it a platform rather than have a negative side. So the next magazine we brought out in March. It's a quarterly magazine, so it's like March, June, September and December. And we brought that one out, and it was basically just articles about county cricket, and it was historical ones, it was modern day ones, it was by some good writers. I always interview somebody. Last interview was Barry Richards, just a small chat with very insignificant. And this current edition will have Angus Fraser. So that's what we decided to do, and I'm now on edition 10, and it's growing in strength because unlike the media portrays, there are an awful lot of people who really love county cricket, and you and I are included in that. And we're not the over 50s, over 60s white male, either of us. So there it is. There are a lot of people that are interested in county cricket, and we wanted to harness that, and we wanted to have a little bit of a platform. So that's kind of how it started.
Yeah, good story, and also obviously we'll leave a link down below us, obviously to the cricket magazine as well. And it's a great little magazine. I've got a couple of copies myself, but it's really important that giving that access to county cricket. I, for example, come from a non-cricketing family. Football is the sport of my household. I came from public school, didn't play cricket at all the way through my school. So the only access I had to cricket was a really cheap membership at Sussex, and going out there as a kid, and actually having that access to cricket and through county cricket meant that obviously I've got the love of the game, and it's continued all the way up to watching test match cricket. But if it wasn't for the fact that I've got a county just down the road from me, it's a small county. It's one of those which potentially are always on the threatened list. Not probably about sort of like 15, 16, if we're sort of like ranking counties by sort of like strength of if counties were going to get reduced. And I think it's really important that county cricket is there. And actually, I don't think there's as many counties as we could do with, because obviously there's still large areas of the country without access, and how many other people are being brought up with no access to cricket.
No, it's
So
interesting your point that you bring up about the fact that you went to Sussex because the membership is incredibly small for low in price for certainly for children, but generally access to county cricket is very, very cheap for a whole day's entertainment. You're seeing cricket for even without a membership is at Somerset, for example, it's I think about £18 for the day. I mean, it is a incredible bargain, really.
it is, and like I've bought a membership this year. If I'd have bought the basic membership rather than the upgraded one I did do, actually it would have cost me less money than what a whole day out to the Oval for one day of a India Test match would have cost me. So, and that's for a whole. I think it's about 28 days worth of cricket at Sussex for the
Yeah.
same price as one day out to London, which is incredibly cheap. So. You talked about there at how cheap and a good day out of county cricket is. What is your sort of like? Why would you tell people to go to watch county cricket who haven't already?
Well, I mean, for those reasons, it's a full day. You can have right from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. There's sport in front of you. It is entertaining. It's wonderful. You meet lots of people. You chat with lots of people. I mean, county cricket is. You can get so involved in your own county, like we were saying before at the beginning. That you're very, very much into Hove, and that's where your interest is, and that's where your allegiance is. I feel very much that about Somerset, for example. You get to see the players close up. You get to follow them. You follow them from really early on, and their development, and that's key part of being into a sport, I think, and into a team. If you've invested time and energy and actually really looked at how important it is for for the youth growing and going into England possibly. I mean, you get all that at county cricket. You get that real sense of belonging, and it starts feeling a bit like home, your ground, doesn't it? I mean, I go and I just feel whenever I get there, I just think, oh, it's brilliant. And I sit down on my own and I just think, right, what's going to happen today? Well, for the first day, for example, I'll sit there and I'll go, oh, right, okay, who's gonna open? Who's gonna open the bowling? When are the spinners coming into play? What's the score going to be at tea time? Are we going to, and there's so many games within games and contests within contests, and county cricket gives you that so accessibly. And I mean, I'm not a huge fan of going to Test cricket. I do go and I enjoy it, but it's so restricting and containing and full of people. And county cricket's got a good mix, and you wander around and you chat to people, and it just feels like a proper day out, and they start feeling a bit like your family. I don't know if you have that. I'm sure you do have that at home.
Yeah, definitely. And sort of like what I like about county cricket is obviously like everybody, I've got a certain area of the ground that I always sit in, and actually the same people are there. And like you can, for me, who sort of like works, I'll be sort of like work sort of like 5 till 12 on sort of like county cricket days. So then I can get out for the rest of the day, can turn up after lunch. You got the same faces, you can have a chat, ask them their view of what's happened in the morning, which is amazing when you get two different members sitting next to each other, both explaining the last 2 hours of cricket. One who thinks that it's been an absolutely atrocious batting collapse and all the batsmen are too focused on T20 cricket at Hove, where another one thinks the bowler was having the best spell of his life. And
absolutely, opinions by members and fans is incredible, isn't it? And there's a lot of comedians out there, a lot of very funny people that you wouldn't necessarily know if you didn't. And I mean, you sit in the same place. I usually sit in the same place, or I'm lucky enough to go into the press box now, but I do. I really like to try different areas as well, and ask people different things, and chat to different people. And I think it's a yeah, it's just a delightful experience. It really, really is. There's nothing more exciting, and I love cricket with two innings. I can't explain, but
Mm.
it just feels right. Uh, you know, you know that someone's been out, and you know they've got another chance to sort of make it good, or it really is a. It's just so wonderful. I don't know. I can't. People can't convince other people very easily without going along and trying. I'm really going to try and start a campaign this year to see every member and every fan should try and take someone along at least
Mm.
once or twice a season that have never been to county cricket before. And even if they just, some people might not like it, but even if you just get the odd few, that's the odd few more. And then that, escalates and escalates it. And this should be happening. I know Sean Jarvis at Leicestershire, for example, is really, really keen to try and get. He's the CEO there, and I've been talking to him about trying to get sort of county cricket out to areas that people don't consider those areas, and I think he's really keen to try and get it out there to people, and work in sort of innovative ways of getting cricket in areas that have not seen it, or don't feel like they understand it.
Yeah, I completely agree. Again, and sort of like it's really important getting more people out there. So this year, I'm lucky enough I've already renewed my membership. I've
Yeah,
bought a blast pass at Hove, which is obviously separate to that.
yeah,
But for the fourth season in a row, I know it's only for the T20s, but I've bought an additional T20 ticket for all of the games. And it's a case of actually those. I did the same last year when we was even having to pay to buy the game, but
yeah.
actually bring a different person along to each of the
Brilliant.
7 home games at Hove.
Mm.
Yesterday it was awful. Not yesterday. Last year it was awful because we had 4 of the 7 home games were rained off, which is
Mm.
is like what a better way to get introduced to county cricket
You
than
can't, yeah,
have
you
to rain.
can't you can't deal with the weather. That's just
Yeah,
that's part of the problem,
but
isn't it? Mm.
hopefully it'll make their weight worth it for this year um,
Mm.
when they come out again. And it's just talking more about cricket, which is the whole reason that we do our show here. And normally you have George McMemory, who you
Oh
might
yeah,
recognise from
yeah,
some of
yeah,
the
yeah.
groups. It's normally me and him who do all the podcast, but we just talk and ramble on about cricket,
Mm.
like you do at the ground, and it's sort of like our way of
Yeah.
maintaining that throughout the winter, but also trying to get other people involved as well. It's a really good sport, and we both travel, me more so, around the country as well. So
Yeah.
I've been to 14 out of the 18 county grounds so far. So getting around there slowly.
It's a real joy, isn't it? I
Obviously,
love that. I want to tick them all off. I want to go to all the outgrounds as well. It's they've got
mm,
a football app for doing that. I really, really think there should be a cricket app for doing it.
yeah,
Um, because it's a really, really lovely. You get, because I'm in a few WhatsApp groups with a few different county fans, a few different counties, and they're always asking sort of what hotel you're staying at, and where you're going, and what days you're going. And this sort of thing can be done on an app, and I think it would be really, really useful for people.
mm,
But I mean, there's nothing nicer than going away and going to a new ground, and seeing some people there, but obviously new people, and visiting it,
mm.
a new stadium or something, isn't there? And as for the outgrounds and the festivals, I mean, do you go to any festivals? Or?
I'm lucky enough being a Sussex member. We not have Arundel Castle, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
the only ground which I put above Hove for just feeling absolutely special. But I normally holiday in North Wales quite a lot, so Colwyn Bay is normally on the list. Unfortunately, it does look like both of those aren't on the fixture list for
No.
22. There's no outground cricket yet announced for Sussex this year. And last week, Glamorgan said there won't be a game in Colwyn Bay either for this year. But the outgrounds are really, really special. Especially when you get like the big sort of like 3,000-4,000 crowds in as well.
Yes, there's Scarborough this year, isn't there? I think I'm going to Southport. I think is it Southport? I think for Middlesex. For a Middlesex game, and I've never been to that one, and so I'm really looking forward to it. But Cheltenham Festival is one I go to, and that is always a pure delight. Just I've been very lucky with the weather there as well. But I mean, there are so many wonderful experiences like that, aren't there?
Yes, and obviously it's kind of sort of like the joy of county cricket. So in 2019, I think it was, that's a year before COVID hits, I went for a weekend away and went to Leeds on the Headingley on the Saturday. I was watching cricket at Old Trafford on the Sunday, and then Sussex were playing in Bristol on the Sunday. I went to the 3 games on 3 consecutive days. That's 2 games being a neutral supporter, but actually just chatting to people and sort of like was able to sort of like diarise through the sort of like the social media channels where we were, what we were going, who was meeting, and the amount of people who came up and at the grounds and sort of like chatting about their experiences of county cricket was really nice, and looking to do more of that.
It's very much a community, and a really, really, really important one as well. And I'm finding that out more and more. The amount of times I get emails and messages from people saying, "Really important what you're doing. It really, really matters to me. You know, this magazine is really brilliant. Just for us." And the Facebook group I've got. That sort of community getting together, people sharing thoughts and stuff. It is really important to some people, and it surprised me how much.
Yeah, it is, and it's even sort of like from Georgia, its point as well. Sort of like the belonging it gives you. It's incredibly through sort of like the hard times and the good times in sort of like personal life. And then being able to have that. I was at Hove last week for like a non-cricket event going around there. And just walking around it was a beautiful sunny day, and just looking around there, and I'm like, it's only about 60 days until I'm out here, and it just puts a smile on your face straight away just being around those places.
No, it is, and like we both care about our counties more than any other team. I follow England, but I'm not so bothered whether they do well. I'm much more bothered if Somerset do well or not. So I'm coming to Sussex in March, so I'm really looking forward to that. And going to go to the ground. So
awesome. It's a lovely place, and
I've never been.
Really friendly. Again, like most places, really friendly. Really welcoming. Obviously, I can say that it's hard to say that as a Sussex supporter. Wouldn't say anything, but yeah, it's one of those grounds whereby the club know who they are very well. So we've got obviously the test ground down here is obviously Southampton. You've got Middle Lords and the Oval up in London. So actually, it's no point over developing the ground in terms of stands, and because we're never going to be able to attract international cricket. But they've still got the old pavilion there. They've still got the banks at the top of the ground to watch cricket in as well. So you can have your deck chairs out in the summer. So
I've seen the pictures. Yeah, it's great. I love that. No, it's delight. I'm really looking forward to seeing it, and
Mm.
yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for our smaller grounds. I it feels really accessible at Somerset,
Mm.
and you're close to the action, and you kind of feel a real family sort of feeling. And I'm sure Hove's very similar to that.
Mm. Definitely. And before we wrap up, did you want to just talk about where people can get buy your magazine?
Sure. Yes, it's on the internet. It's www.countycricketmatters.com, and you can subscribe to the magazine. It's 4 editions annually, and that would be £13, including postage, or you can get individual copies, and they're £2.50 each plus postage. So they're a real bargain. I had some brilliant writers. I had Duncan Hamilton. I've got quite a few interesting writers this time. I've had Jack Russell write a piece. I mean, I've had lots and lots of really wonderful people who have done so much. And I've got Jason Gillespie as my patron, and he's a kind of bit of a Sussex person, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I'm sure probably would still be in Sussex if it wasn't for his the call from home with South Australia.
Yeah,
But yeah, really good magazine. So we'll put the links down to your website as well. And
thanks.
thank you for your time, and hopefully county cricket thrives going forward.
Yeah, let's just big it up a bit more. Just go against what the media are saying, because it's so media led, and most of the people that criticise county cricket do not have a clue what it's like. They really, really don't. Have you seen KP there recently? Wandering around at county cricket? No, you haven't. Funny.
Exactly. Couldn't sum it up any better myself. Thank you for your time.